Hello everyone, my name is Richard, in case you didn't know. I thought today I would tell you about my political journey as a kind of filler. Keep the subscribers satisfied. It's not the only reason, it's part of my my reason for being, I suppose. So, excuse me, I just think. So yeah, the strangest memory, one of the strangest I had is when I was 6 years old, in 1961. So I remember walking down to the shops with my parents. Used to walk in those days, not take the car. I think we had a trolley, but not quite sure about that. Anyway, we got down to the main shopping street, down the hill, and there was a trade union march. And one of the banners, a big one, said Maggie Thatcher Milk Snatcher. And this is what I don't understand, because I checked the history, and she was in education sector to 1970, which is when I was 15, 9 years later. So I don't understand where this memory comes from. It's like I'm in a different universe or something. It's not the only one I've had like that. Quite strange. Anyway, it's what I've got, so I'll stick with that. So yeah, I asked my dad about what it was all about, and I told the education secretary and proposed to, take this free school milk away from children. Which may not have been a bad thing, because I've read about it since, and there were issues with bacteria and the birds picking the bottle tops, and just spreading bacteria around. So it perhaps wasn't such a bad idea. But what really concerned me was the replacement by kind of fizzy pops and vending machines, snacks and things, which was not good. So later on, when I was 9, I asked my dad about the political system, and he said, "Well, you've got these MPs who represent you, and you have to you vote for them, and they stand in Parliament, and supposed to represent you." But then he told me about the political parties, and that's to this day I don't understand why we have them. I get it. I get the historical imperative as well. It's kind of natural for groups to form, and even tribal groups have formed for a long time, being tribes, and it's natural for them to form political parties. But it's a crazy, crazy system. You have an official opposition in Parliament. Official opposition. It means that a loggerheads all the time, just bang, 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 never working together. What kind of system is that? It's just crazy. Anyway, the next milestone in my journey was when I was 15. I had read the book by Rachel Carson called Silent Spring. It's about DDT in America and how it killed off all the insects. So the birds had nothing to eat, so they died out as well, which why the spring was silent, as the title. That struck a real chord with me, and at the same time, or the same year, 1970, we used to have an electric milk cart delivering milk to our doorstep. The electric milk cart in 1970. I remember the whining noise it used to make about 8 in the morning as the milkman drove the street. So we'd have a metal crate with a dial thing on it, so you set the dial to say 4 pints, and the milkman leave 4 pints and take the empties away. I also had eggs and butter and orange juice in a kind of cooler compartment. And you ought to deliver to your door, and bread as well. You get the basics: eggs, bread, butter, orange juice, milk. You don't need to go shopping most of the time. You've got the basics. You could survive quite happily in those. So look at cheese or something. So yeah, and that was replaced by supermarkets. Driving to supermarkets to get milk in a plastic container. And the reason being because supermarkets are deemed to be cheaper, it's capitalism again. It's just very, very strange. Because I looked at this, I knew plastic then was bad news, because it just doesn't decay. It takes centuries to decompose, or thereabouts. It nothing eats it or hardly anything. Just sits around in landfill and in the sea and makes a mess everywhere. So I don't understand why it's considered cheaper, because if it's costed correctly, it's going to be more expensive. So why do we not have milk floats again? It's electric milk floats. It's strange. Anyway, later on, after university, I went to Kent to start my career as a software engineer. I was about 25 then, 1980. And I remember going to a Maidstone, and there was a park there, and there was a public debate about drug policy. So, being a cannabis user, I thought, I'll wade in. So I introduced myself, went on stage, and started speaking my views, my mind about what the issues were. Of course, I wasn't a criminal. I'd never done any harm. I've mentioned this before in another video about cannabis and the law. There was police there, and I wasn't carrying anything. I wasn't doing anything illegal. I was just talking about it. So I had a debate with them. And I was making the point, which seemed to go down fairly well, that the law needs to be changed, because it's just crazy way of doing things. People get banged up or fined for crimes they haven't committed. Just illegal. It's not no harm done though. There's a few laws like that. The law does more harm than good. That's one of them. It's a major problem, because it brings the whole law into dispute, into disrespect. People think, well, this cannabis stuff is fine, it's not a problem. So why don't you try the drugs? That's one reason why people might try the drugs, because it's all illegal, and if the suppliers have a vested interest in passing on addictive stuff to you, then they will. Because they make more money doing that. Got a captive audience. So yeah, that was a major issue back then for me. And I also predicted the same year that there'd be a political disaster of some kind within a few decades. It's quite obvious to me, because ever since, for a long time, since the age of 8, I've been studying society and trying to figure out how it was my mum became so ignorant she damaged me, how the schooling system was so dire that she left being ignorant and damaged me as a consequence. Not knowing, of course, she had no wish to, but she did. And so I predicted this disaster, because you look at the system. You've got basically these two major parties, one of which, the Tories, is well funded. It's mostly the lords and ladies and all these aristocrats and the old money. And via the private school system, they have mates in the media. In fact, the media moguls are natural Tories, because they're all millionaires or billionaires and they've got loads of money. They'll naturally vote Tory. It just seems to be the way of things. And so, given that fact, the trend is clearly in favour of the Tory vote, because that's why they win more elections than anyone else, because they've got the media on their side. It's a major issue for any opposition party. So yeah, I say, well, these people got the money, and they've got these bonkers ideas about how society should be organised and run. And they've got this minimal government mantra. They never specify what minimal means. Is keep cutting taxes, cutting resources, cutting revenues, cutting services. And just inevitable. It's obvious to me that's going to end in a disaster of some kind, because you can't keep cutting services. Society just fall apart, and that's what we're seeing now. So when Brexit came along, many years later, that was the disaster I predicted. I didn't expect it to be in that form, or so dramatic, or so drastic. I thought it would be much more gradual deterioration until something snapped. But yeah, in the intervening years, I didn't do much in the political sense. Still kept an eye on the climate crisis, which I first came up about 1990. So I've been quite vocal in that, and also wrote to MPs about poverty issues in the world, because I belong to a lobby group called Results. Sorry, I'm going backwards and forwards, I beg your pardon. But this is not scripted. So, yeah, I joined this lobby group, and we went to MPs about hunger and poverty issues in the world, and I wrote to my Tory MP asking to, raise the amount of money in the overseas aid budget, and he was almost overtly hostile towards me when I met him. Him and his agent, just glaring at me when I walked in. So I didn't feel represented in the Tory domain, sphere, or shire where I was. And again, it's a fault of the system. It just does not represent people well. It just does not do that. You get kind of buggers in his turn. If you don't like these guys, we'll vote about the next election, and then you've got 5 years maybe of somebody better. So maybe. And if you vote Labour in, they're not going to support Tory, so nobody's satisfied. It's a very, very weird, strange system. So yeah, back to Brexit times, more recent times. I've worked in the continent, and I appreciate what the EU means. I've got a better idea than most what it means. And I was quite... Something else I need to mention, sorry I'm jumping around, but when I was 17, I went to a grammar school, and the teacher there was helping us, or teaching us how to analyse newspapers. So when I was 17, later on, I looked at the Daily Mail, because we had this referendum to confirm membership of the EU, I believe it was, the second one. The Daily Mail was all gung-ho, all jingoistic, of saying, yeah, the EU is great, yeah, vote for the EU, yeah, it's great, fantastic. 3 weeks later, it changed its tune, went right about face, 180 degrees turn, and started attacking everything EU. No praise ever since, as far as I know. Just always attacking things. Setting up this kind of mindset, this kind of polluted psychic environment, the culture, to be ignorant of what the EU does for us and well aware of what it doesn't do for us. At least as they've been told. Often lies, often bollocks, but that's what people have been told, and they believed it because they didn't know any better, weren't taught properly to criticise newspapers, or authorities, figures, or anyone like that. So yeah, that's a mixed up version, sorry about that, I meant to be more linear, but it's kind of worked. So yeah, Brexit, and I had a Twitter account, so I didn't know what to do. My partner died in 2018, so I had nothing to do apart from get stoned every day. So I had a Twitter account, and I started using that to push YouTube videos from people like Phil Morehouse, a different bias, and later on Maximilian Robespierre and so forth. So I was watching YouTube videos all day and tweeting about them and other related issues on Twitter. And I've still been writing to MPs. I've had about half a dozen in my travels. And they're all quite disappointing, frankly, because they're all party people. If you raise any issue, like drug laws, for example, which aren't the party menu, they will take the party line. They will not actually consider your request. It just gets ignored. You just spout it for the back of the party line. This is what we believe. This is what we've... There's no real addressing of the issues at all. No democracy, really. Not for me. It doesn't work. So yeah, this is why I started making videos on YouTube. I got really angry about the whole situation, and I really struggled with that a long time for the actual idea of making videos at all, because psychologically I didn't like the idea of talking to myself, as it were, or ranting to a device, my mobile phone in this case, and hoping that somebody else would pick it up and later respond to it, but which they have done, which I'm grateful. But it's quite an odd journey. I had to really overcome my reluctance to do anything in that sphere, but it's the best way for me to proceed, because videos are more entertaining. More people I watch them, so you know, quite obviously they have an impact. They have more impact than tweets do, that's for sure. No response at all from them. There's nothing at all, hardly. Occasional retweet, occasional like, but hardly any comments. So yeah, here I am making videos now, in my old age. Still don't feel old, but I am, look it. I'm 67 now, in case you're wondering. I have a pension, I don't need to get funding, thank God. So yeah, here I am making videos, and occasionally I'll make decent ones. So yeah, sorry for the rambling, but this is just my background journey, which I thought you might want to know about, and I'll post it in my Adventures in Videoland series. So thank you for watching, and thank you for your time, and feel free to spread this around, and if you like it, and if you don't, say so, please. And whatever you're supposed to do, just do that. And make your own videos, and go to MP, and write to MP, yes, and do all that stuff. And oh yeah, one thing I nearly forgot. As you may know, being strongly opposed to the political system, party political system, I just think it stinks. So tribal. But I'm thinking about joining the Green Party in Bristol for selfish reasons. Well, apart from being green, of course, but I'm hoping to get support. I need to meet more people, and they're like-minded, and they also have a decent drugs policy, so I might consider joining them, and hope they're not tribal, and I'll think I may have an opportunity to let them know my views about the whole political system. Anyway, that's where I'm heading, that's where I'm going, maybe. I'm just utterly fed up being on my own, just bored stiff. So I may possibly do that. I'll let you know. Okay, thank you for watching everyone, and bye. See you later.